intergrumbling and griping at myself that I didn't get all of these things ready in advance. Like, I know I have to do this every time I go live. And yet, do you think I got all of these things ready in advance? No. No, I did not. I did not have my live announcements ready in advance. Do this, do this every week. Did I think to make my things in advance? No. Why? Why? Poor time management. Poor time management. That's entirely why. I got squirreled. I was doing things and stuff over in edit land and lost over there. So my time management went all the poop. Here we are. Here we are with me trying to figure it out on the fly, as if that's a thing that you should do. Like, you should just have all this stuff ready, Pepper, or even the hail. How did you become like this? Oh yeah, ADHD. Right, wild ADHD. That's probably what it is. Wild ADHD. Okay. Last live announcement. Send now. Publish. Let's go. Okay. This thing. Hot headphones. Should have headphones for this. Okay. I'm adjusted. Probably not well adjusted, but I am adjusted. Adjustments have been made. Hello! Welcome to the Ghost Pepper Lollipop, where the takes are spicy, the host is sweet, and we engage multiple things can be true at the same time and often are. How are you? How are you? Bots don't count. Yeah, bots don't count. I don't even. Oh, biscuits and gravy. I didn't even turn the bot on. Honestly, that the Frosty Tools thing may have been from the last stream or something. I was I was belated. Well, I wasn't belated. I was on time. I was just kind of scattered on time. I don't know. Maybe I was belated. Either way, I'm here now. I'm here now. How is everyone? Kick the streamer bot says it doesn't like you today. I don't know why. It's not me. I don't know why. I don't know why the streamer bot doesn't like you today. I didn't do it. Just letting you know in advance in case anything doesn't. Well, the bot rarely works for y'all anyway. So, hello. I have the botrix for you. That one works. How is everybody? Hello. Oh my goodness. Squishy! Now the bot recognizes you. See? The bot. The bot. I've got to turn it on in order to make the bot work. Yeah, I guess Frosty Matty was first, then Frosty to or okay, Matty and then Squish, it looks like. If y'all care about such things. That is fair and true, Matty. That is a tough one. That is a tough one. May you have much luck and may you find a solution. I feel like it will require a diversity of tactics, and part of that is like what we're doing here. So the conversations we're having. So many luck to you. Tell us our part when you have figured out a part to give us. Well, that's good. Then you will assuredly, most assuredly, come up with a solution. Oh my. Why did they think I would actually answer that? That's wild. Wild. So, oh, I went to the wrong thing. Hello, hello, it's Thursday. And I forgot to put you on the right scene. And I probably forgot to make a vertical for the YouTubes. Damn it. Damn it. Damning it. I am damning it. Seriously, damning it. Okay, I also forgot to get YouTube chat for y'all. I know what I'm gonna do though, because I feel like we need a way for me to share it with y'all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna capture this. I'm gonna do a thing for red chat, and then that way we will be able to turn it on or off whenever we need to, but we'll have it as an option to be able to. Oh my goodness, gravy babies, which one is it? I think it's this one. I have so many now. There's so many. Holy. I have so many chats. I'm I'm going to eventually have to figure out like how to get them all to be on the screen, I guess. Anyway, this is what I'm doing. Shrink it to here. Anyway, don't love it. Don't love it. Don't love it. I'll put it over here. And then when we need it, I will give it to you. And when we don't need it, I will not. Haha! I found a solution. A solution that I can live with. Well, I don't know. I guess I could just go there. Could just go there. I don't know if I love it, though. I don't know. We're gonna feel it out for a while. We're gonna feel it out. I don't know how I'm vibing with it, but we're gonna feel it out. We'll see if I decide that I hate it or not. I mean, it's because sometimes I put stuff in that corner, and I realized while I was doing editing today, which is what I got lost doing. Um, that's how I scrolled today. I got a lot of like shorts and stuff done though, so I'm very proud of me. I realized that I need to not use as much of that corner when I'm putting stuff there, because then it will look funky. The Twitch chat I love because it comes all the way up the screen, but that is on purpose. And the bot is not like the channel name, is so it makes it so they can't tell how to get here. the Why is this chat different from others on Twitch? I'm not sure. What do you mean it's different? What do you mean by different? I have never had an actual ghost pepper lollipop. I do like spicy sweet things though. So like that's kind of what made it like a no-brainer for the channel name. Plus, the host is the takes are spicy, the host is sweet, two things can be true at the same time. So it worked for all of my allegories that I wanted to do, but I've never had one. I do like spicy sweet things. I really love like chili chocolate. Oh, chili and chocolate go so well together. It's mobile friendly now. Okay, okay, interesting. I really love spicy sweet. Oh, there's these freaking gummies, which now I want somebody to go get me gummies. This is terrible. There's these gummies that are spicy sweet. They're oh goodness. They're Cholula gummies. They're delightful. They're so wonderful. They're so wonderful. The Cholula gummies are what's up. Hello, Ro. Thank you for being there. I appreciate you. And look, now everybody has visibilities. You might agree. And see, that's the thing. I'm not here to debate, so it wouldn't matter if you agreed or disagreed. We're just here to have a conversation and to normalize like sometimes having a hard conversation and not necessarily knowing, but being able to get through it. Dog, hello, lovely. How are you doing? Ooh, you may have to come up and have some jalapeno cheese bread. This bread I made is ridiculous, dog. It's ridiculous. I think you would like it. Also, you're in my safe space chat, so I mean, you have a pretty much like you have a You have a pretty good leniency in there. I think you could, except for what I did was I rolled it. I put cream cheese on the dough, and then I rolled it so it's got like this cream cheese layer. It's ridiculous. I suppose you could. You probably could still cut it in half and toast it, but there's like a turn in it, so it might fall apart at the turn. I like to, it's a snack bread. I like to make different things, different kinds of things, bread things. I love to make bread. It's the one like trad wifey thing that I retained. But I love making bread and making bread treats. And I saw a freaking YouTube short where they made these like twisted jalapeno popper things. And I was like, wait, I have an idea. I have to try this. And so I sauteed some really nice jalapenos and I made a really nice dough and I smothered the dough in a thick layer of cream cheese. And then I put herbs and stuff on it, and then I put those sauteed jalapenos in and rolled it up. Let it rise again. Twisted it so that it would get all like I twisted the dough so that it would spin the stuff through the snack bread. It is magnificent. It is so good. Oh my goodness, gravy is so good. I that is all I ate that. Yeah, that's pretty much mostly what I ate yesterday. I mean, I had some like side stuff with my bread, but I mostly ate jalapeno cheese bread yesterday. I must admit, I had a couple of pieces of salami with it, but it was predominantly jalapeno cheese bread. I also made some herby regular cheese bread because my offspring's not a spice person. Oh no, tooth infection. Boo. Boo. Glad that work was easy. Boo on the tooth infection. Awesome. Yes, it has been ridiculously hot, bro. So hot. I I am so lucky though that the mister works right here and keeps this area cool. If you go to the other end of the room though, it gets ridiculous. But if you're right here where the mister goes, everything's good. I feel very fortunate in that. When it gets like 100 degrees, there's nothing that will mitigate it though. Today is overcast, really overcast. We've had storms the last few days, and so that's been kind of taking up the weather front. Let me check something. I didn't check the fire this morning, which the fire, of course, is still raging, and it got wild on them, unfortunately, because of some of the wind and these storms, and the storms are bringing up really bad wind. Yeah, no, it is bad again. They're struggling with getting the fire under control because of the wind in these storms, and we've had storms the last several days. Hello, thank you for calling stream.
Hi,
Hi.
this is Roller.
Hello, Roller.
Hi, one second. I'm trying to get my phone on speaker
You're
so I can
good.
hear you better.
Make sure I have it so that everybody can hear you.
All right. I also want to grab some paper so I
Okay,
can take notes. My
perfect.
pronouns are he, him. I'm
Perfect.
23. Let me. Yeah. Wonderful conversation about breads. I definitely want to learn more about this topic, but I think it's topic number 6, the one about men.
Okay. The
Uh,
it's all men till it's no men.
yeah, what does that mean?
Well, it means that we can't tell if it which men just by your packaging. We can't tell if you're safe or not. And so we have to assume all of you are unsafe until none of you are unsafe, because the reality and the latest statistics states that 95.1% of you have sexually assaulted somebody, whether it's through coercion or more violent means.
Okay. Um, and that makes sense. Uh, that usually when I hear the phrase like "not all men" or when people talk about men, I'm assuming this is like all mostly targeted towards cis men, right? Like none of this is like really directed towards trans men, or is it both?
I mean, if trans men, if they have the internalized misogyny, then most definitely it's directed at them. We are all
Yeah,
raised in a white supremacist patriarchal society, so it's even directed at some women. I mean, it's directed at all of us that haven't unpacked that.
yeah. But you mentioned the packaging, so I'm like, it's
Oh yeah.
probably based a lot on like yeah, like not just appearances, but also like just in general. Like it's almost like an evolutionary thing, like where
Well, I
men have
mean,
been so dangerous for such a long time that
yeah.
it's like now it's kind of like the safest thing for survival is just to be afraid of them by default.
Yes. Yes, and
Uh,
also one thing that most people don't probably understand or realize is even by packaging, I mean, trans men would still qualify. Most trans men present more masculine than your average cis man, just by nature of
true.
the hormone therapy and stuff. So, I mean, I think the packaging just kind of is just the easiest way to phrase it for me.
You're right. You're right. Especially because, like, I mean, I'm not a very masculine man myself. There's plenty of trans men that are like more manly than me. I guess on like a societal level, or like a when it comes to societal standards, at least. Um, yeah. I mean, so I guess the only confusion I had when calling in was when I read the phrase. What is more common to hear when people say like "not all men," or when they go like "all men are X," "all men should X Y Z." Because that's what I assumed it was going to be about. I had no idea that it was going to be about like, oh, all men are just kind of like unsafe, and that's just kind of how things are gonna have to be until men stop being unsafe or something happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it sucks. It sucks for everyone, honestly. It doesn't just suck for men. Like they
No,
think
yeah, yeah,
that it just sucks for them. It sucks for everybody because that just creates a divide that shouldn't be necessary, also that a few very rich trillionaires can have their way with society, which is absurd to me. And because of the homosocial nature of masculinity, men will only listen to other men, so a lot of the responsibility also falls on men. But it's not like, the reason that I won't say the not all men thing is that reason as well, but also because you have to take responsibility and ownership for that. And sometimes we have to validate ourselves. And if you feel a particular defensiveness to something, it probably honestly is something that bugs you about either your own perspective or something that happens around you in the world, or something like that. Usually, or something that you feel helpless to. It's not
yeah,
usually the fault of the person that made you feel defensive. And if we just kind of take a moment and ask ourselves, okay, why did that make me feel poked? What about that statement sucked? And if we take those few moments, we'd have more more conversations like this where you ask and I explain to you like the safety dynamic, and we understand that it's not me saying men suck me, and then we could have a real
yeah.
conversation. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Is there like a time limit? Like I'm also a fan
Yeah,
of Jovan Bradley, so
me too.
um,
Jovan is amazing. I like Jovan.
yeah, he's great. He's wonderful.
He is.
I like the thing about him is like, and I'm someone who was raised kind of like when I got into politics, I started with debate bro style politics, and it took a long time to find Jovan. And what I like about Jovan is that like his debates oftentimes just come from a perspective of education and wanting to educate, which I feel is like really inspirational, and that's kind of why I felt comfortable calling in because I'm like, oh, this person will educate me. I think yeah, I don't really call in to disagree a lot of the time, especially with other like leftists and stuff like that. I just kind of wanted to understand, what it meant, and I was like, oh yeah, well that makes sense because even I feel unsafe around other men, and I agree that it is men's responsibility to keep other men in check. Um, like I know that as a cis man, my perspective is limited. Uh, but usually when people hear, like, it is not even exclusive to men or people with fragile egos. There's a lot of people who will react to generalizing statements with like defensiveness, whether it's warranted or not, because usually they can, inspire some kind of knee jerk reaction of like anger or frustration. It's sort of like when a guy says all women are X or all men are X, all trans people are X. I don't know why I keep using the letter X for this. I could use any letter, but yeah, I just feel like yeah, a lot of guys get really defensive about that kind of stuff too. Um, but I understand. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, no, and I think that if we take the moments to just ask questions or to ask ourselves, why did I feel poked by that? We get further and then we can have better conversations. But I appreciate it. Yeah, reacting is always easier than introspection, Roz, and thank you for coming to the
Yeah.
chat. And
No
then the
problem.
learning the difference for me, the thing that was hard about like that defensive thing was learning that the defensive feeling was reaction. That's my reaction. That's reactive. That's emotional. That's also probably not going to be my lasting feeling, once I unpack it. I've learned the difference between being reactive and reaction and getting to response. And so now I just take a couple of minutes usually and like ask myself, okay, why did that poke? What about that was bothersome? And sometimes I come up with, that was an abusive thing and that sucks and people shouldn't do abusive things. And sometimes I come up with,
Hmm.
um I come from a native culture and there's a lot of erasure, and that like leaving my people out sometimes makes me defensive when people are talking about marginalized people and they don't talk about natives. It feels pokey because it feels like more invisibilization of an already invisibilized people. But me being able to go to the mirror and say, okay, what about this thing poked me? What about this thing made me feel defensive? Gives me a little bit more power in the conversation, A, over myself, and B, over what I'll tolerate and like what what level of energy matching I feel like I need to do.
Hmm. Especially if someone asks something or says something and it makes, as you describe, pokey. If it's like, it comes off with some roughness to it, and you respond and it doesn't feel right because it didn't feel like you reacted with the right energy, or you didn't realize that it was coming from a place of, like, I guess, vulnerability, and maybe someone didn't know that they were being like ignorant, because that's how ignorance usually operates. So sometimes it's like people who make you react in that way, and you react with like anger or aggression or like frustration. Sometimes it like makes them, like, it's like a chain reaction where it makes them also get into that mode because they didn't expect you to respond that way.
Yeah.
And then you can't just double back and go, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were just a bigot. It's like, no, sometimes it just like, sometimes it's hard to back off from that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, I sometimes you do get sunk into like a way that you're being with a person, and it is hard, especially with how society is coded. It's hard to like step back in that moment where you're already in contention with somebody. It's hard to step back and take that breath and go, wait, maybe we just disagree. And sometimes the
Hmm.
hard thing is just what we have to do, and learning to do that for me feels more, I don't know, it feels like I have more power in like life in general. And like I come from a very abused situation. Like I have a lot of PTSD and stuff. And so like always feeling like I had no control over things made me a lot more reactive, and I was a toxic people pleaser. And for those that understand the difference between like going from people pleaser to not people pleaser, you understand the toxic lines in being a people pleaser. And so I don't know. Learning those differences has given me the ability to have better conversations and police myself better, but also be willing to listen to people and learn and like hear past people's pain. Because a lot of the times when we're feeling defensive or something about something, it hurt a part of us, whether that's an identity piece or just a training piece or a socialization piece of us. It's a piece of us that we haven't yet come to terms with, that we haven't gone to the mirror and like unpacked. And so that defensiveness is sort of like when you step on a needle, that prick of pain that tells you, hey, go
Hmm.
pull that out of your foot. I feel like that defensiveness feeling is like telling us, hey, go check on that. Why does that bother you? Go look at that, unpack it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that there's people who have. Well, first of all, I want to say congratulations on regaining control over your life. I'm
Thank
absolutely happy
you.
to hear.
Thank
Uh,
you.
no
Really,
problem.
thank you a lot.
Yeah, it kind of is just like I'm glad that there are people who can introspect. I feel like a lot of the problems with conservative thinking is a lack of introspection, or like just wanting to ridicule and point at things and laugh rather than like actually ask why they're bothered by something. It's kind of like in school, like there's like bullies, whether it's in like high school or even as far back as kindergarten. Like young kids will just pick on someone for some reason, and they will all gang up on this one person or like a handful of other students, and it's like they'll make fun of the most ridiculous things. And then you can ask them like, why do you care so much about this kid's hairstyle? Why do you care about their name so much? It's not that big of a deal. They won't have an answer for it. They didn't think about it. They're just doing it because it makes them feel good. And then there's people who don't bully other people, or people who are former bullies who have done introspection, sometimes quite late, but they're capable of it. And those are the people that you can have conversations like this with. Um, but yeah, I guess coming back to the topic about um, all men until it's no men, I obviously think like it's a little idealistic to say no men. Obviously, it's not meant to be taken literally, but of course,
It's the
hopefully,
same thing as Black Lives Matter though. I mean, that's the best equivalence I can give to you is think of how people went all lives
yeah,
matter and all of that shit. It's kind of the same thing. It's like here is a
yeah,
problem and we have to address it, and here is the language we use to show the importance of this issue. And this issue is important. It is valuable to all of society for us to correct it. And so it's just sort of that sort of language use. And marginalized people are often told to code switch because but you can't reach that. So
yeah,
sometimes that's the way we have to be. And I think that at this point, this is just we have this issue, and there is a part of our population that, because it hurts to look at it, just like it hurts white people to look at the history that has been done to indigenous people and black people, just like white people didn't want to address that because it hurts. You're powerless to do anything about the past. That is an uncomfortable, hard thing to face up to. And like my nation did slavery. It's a hard thing and it sucks. And sometimes we just have to sit in that discomfort. Sometimes you don't get to assuage it. Sometimes you don't get to have a way that you get to fix it. You just have to understand that this sucks. You can't fix it, but it sucks. And it's the same way, like if you saw somebody that you care about get hurt, you can't go and be bleeding for them, you sit with that suck for them and move forward. And that's kind of what we have to do learn to do in these situations. So white people have to learn that, you know it really sucks what their ancestors did in order to take this continent and what they did in order to take power and control. And that hurts and that sucks. And they're powerless to do anything about that history. It is what it is. It has happened. And now you just have to own that privilege, and you have to admit that that is true. And you have to speak out against new aggressions against people's civil rights. And that's the responsibility, because you can't fix it. So you can't go back. And just like that, that's the way men have to start taking on this misogyny, patriarchy thing. You have to be the ones to say, no, that's disgusting. Just like I would
Yeah,
imagine that if some white supremacist came and said some nasty thing, you would be like, ew, you are a disgusting pig. Just the same, it's the same mentality. Some man says some nasty thing, some awful misogynist thing, you just go, ew, yeah, that's kind of gross. Who raised you? And that's how we have to kind of handle the situation, I think.
yeah. Who
Just
raised you? Do you have house training?
yeah, yeah,
So I guess there's a couple things. One is that the analogy comparing the Black Lives Matter slogan with this slogan that we're using now, it makes sense. Like I, here's the thing with me. I think is it's a personal problem for me that I take things too literally, because I remember back when I first got into politics, I was young and stupid, and when I heard Black Lives Matter, I was one of those All Lives Matter people. Obviously, that didn't last long because I got educated, but like I was thinking to myself, why just Black Lives? What the flip? What does that mean? And then yeah, of course, I understood that it didn't literally mean this is the only group of people that matters. Why would they think that? That's not what they think. That's not what they're marching for.
yeah,
And I guess it makes more sense when you compare the two. Um, Another thing about holding men accountable is that I think there's such a thing as, there's toxic masculinity, but I think there's something called positive masculinity in the sense that you can be a masculine person and you can also be a safe person that can build a community or a home without putting people down or oppressing other people. And there's a band I listen to, a punk band called Idols, and that's like one of their whole messages. They have a song called Samaritan, and it's all about how like boys are taught like not to cry. They're taught to, be more powerful than other boys, and it leads to them hurting women and people they love and drinking themselves to death. Uh, but
that's why we're
instead
here.
of letting,
That's
yeah,
actually why we're
and,
here, is because if we can get more men and boys to recognize this harm that is done to them, because this system doesn't just harm women and girls and queer people. It's not just
it
it
harms men
harm,
too.
yeah, in such insidious ways. And while making men feel tough and all of that, it's at the same time tearing parts of your soul out, tearing parts of the you out, and destroying your heart and your cardiovascular system in general. And so when we can, that's why I do this now. Like, that's exactly
Yeah,
why I do this. So that when we can start to recognize these patterns and things, you won't be willing to give up you for these billionaire, trillionaire, rich people that just want to extract you, and as much extract as much of you as possible, as much that they can make a dime on, a penny on, whatever. So that's why we're here. And I do definitely agree with you that there can be a masculinity that is good and positive and is an example that y'all will want to set for each other and with
yeah,
each
and
other.
it's not easy to find among men either. Like it's not like a thing that's commonly happening. It's something that is something you have to sort of fight for now, or like dig through all these groups of guys who could pretend to be doing the right kind of masculinity, but instead they're showing off a kind of masculinity that is all about dominance and controlling people, and not about like creating a home, protecting people that you love, people like keeping your people up, whether they're marginalized or not. Hopefully, you're keeping everyone up, but obviously, within your individual community, you only have so much like physical reach, and especially if you're like taking care of a lot of people at once. And
Yeah. And your neighborhood is your community. Like the
yeah,
place that you
hmm
live, your neighborhood is your community, just like your family is your community. And I like to use like family community. Like when I'm talking to my offspring and stuff, like I'll say family community because that's like dog and crow and T and me, you know, that's our and Mama D, that's our family community. And then we have the larger community. You know, we have more people in our community, all of my beautiful purple team and everybody in the Discord, and you know, then we have our neighborhood
That's
community,
cool.
and that's the people that, you know, I grow extra tomatoes and stuff along the fence line for. So I think that having that mindset of our community and wanting to make everybody strong, because we actually all, when we when we lift each other up, we all lift up together, and then we don't have to step on anybody. The problem with this system is that they normalize stepping on somebody else so that you and yours can get ahead.
Yeah,
And the problem with
I do
that
think.
is eventually you will step on your own people to get ahead of them.
Yeah, I do think it's like, yeah, there's like a long-standing history of men being like this, but I also think like the direction of economics plays a huge part in this, of just like solidifying that and incentivizing that kind of behavior in men as well. Like even though women, now I actually think that even though women have the opportunity to like work and be independent, like you don't need to have a husband to own a fucking bank account. Like what the hell? Who thought of that?
Yeah, yeah, that used
Oh
to
my
be a
god.
thing. I mean, it wasn't even legal for me to dance or speak my language until I was a year old. Because
Jesus.
I'm Native American, and it wasn't even legal for me to dance or speak my language. I didn't learn my language until I was an adult, and I'm still not as fluent as I'd like to be. But I did want to note something real quick because you mentioned a song. On
Yeah.
Saturdays in the Twitch, the Kick, and the Patreon, we do a Solidarity Saturday stream, and it's 6 p.m. Mountain Time. We do music and games, and people bring me music.
Ooh.
I have the killer I have the fucking best music list on all of the social medias. I will die on that hill, and it is because the community built them. And so I have dropped the links into the Twitch chat if you want them. They are good.
Thank you.
We
Well,
have the
let me double
best
check this real quick.
playlists. We have the best playlists.
Awesome, awesome. I will have to take some of these because I'm currently building a playlist called Leftist Affirmations, and I'm trying to find music to put on there that isn't like all one genre. Because there's like plenty of songs that you could call leftist music, like "Killing in the Name of" and stuff like that, that are popular. But I'm also looking for like other things, you know, that I might not have heard of. So I will definitely check this out.
Yes, so the
Um,
top list is indigenous artists from around the world, and the second list is the DeFi list. It's the protest list. The protest list you can add to. The last list is the Down with Patriarchy list. That one is beautiful, and you can add to that one too. I have a lot
okay.
of fun. My community is so good to me. They bring me all of the best music all of the time.
Hell yeah, I would love to add. I also like double checked and noticed that your list of topics. Do you have any topics related to Indigenous people that you'd want to add, or have you used in the past to your list of topics? Even though
I
like I don't think a lot of conservatives would call in talking about it because it's not even like in their mind half the time. But
I
you know,
haven't. I've streamed a long time on Twitch, and I rebranded. I used to only do indigenous culture and art because I'm a sculptor and a painter, and
oh,
so I that's what I did for the longest time. And people just aren't interested in us. They don't give a shit about us. They don't want to recognize or acknowledge that we still exist. They definitely don't want to talk about the truth about me looking like this, how whiteness does this. They don't want to like address the real things, and they most definitely don't want to have a conversation about like indigenous people's existence and claims to the land, and like rights to have a conversation about how to properly steward our way through what capitalism has done. They don't want to have those conversations. Nobody wants to like really learn about us. They like us being this historical thing they can imagine in a multitude of ways. Modernizing us is not something that the people of this country are as interested in my experience.
Do you have any like I guess solutions to like the whole modernizing thing? Like any ideas of like what policies could be put in place to help grow the communities or make them like safer or better?
Largely it's going to have to be education, but it's going to we have to stop blood quantums, and we have to stop I belong to one of the only types of people that can be erased by how much blood you have, or don't. And so, like, they can say that I can't claim my great grandmother or my great great grandmother because, like, she had more of this bloodline than I did. And so, that's one of the first
Oh my
things that
God.
has to go is blood quantums, because that's just training us to
Yeah.
erase each other and ourselves. Um,
That's like Jim
and
Crow
then
stuff.
that's
That's like, oh, you're not.
education, largely education. Yes, but they tie it to resource allotments, and so they get many nations to blood quantum themselves because there's only so many resources, and if they deny resources to anybody with less than 50% of blood, then there's more resources for the people with 50% or more blood, and it's a way of
Oh,
erasing the people. And if, like, there are only 149 pure Chicashan people left, they can erase our whole nation because of that. And so blood quantuming just erases indigenous cultures. That's the point of it. So I think that the keys are education and stopping blood quantuming, I think would be the first two things. And just like
okay.
allowing us to, I don't know, we're all there's so many crimes against indigenous people. It's really hard because it's going to take a diversity of tactics to heal it, because the types of genocide crimes and the way that they trained us to genocide ourselves, their assimilation crimes, like there's so much. So it's got to be like education, it's got to be generational therapy. There's
Yeah.
so many things, historical education. uh there's a lot of stuff to it, a lot of stuff. But I think being visible and just being allowed to exist and having people recognize that we're not, that Native American means jack shit. I am Chicashan, I am Chickasaw, I am not Native American, I am Chickasaw. I am also Shata, but I'm not allowed to claim that because I'm under the law here in the United Snakes of America. I can only claim one of my nations. And so, like, getting rid of those lines and things and having us stop being erased continuously throughout history, even now, because we are being genocided even now. It's just through more subtle tactics. I think being
Yeah.
honest about that and having visibility to that is how we fix it. But they're still genociding us still now.
No, yeah, I wanted to know more about this because I was thinking like I've never really heard anyone propose anything like policy wise that could help indigenous communities. By the way, you probably get this question a lot, but uh, with the term Native American, what are the nuances behind using it or not using it? Like I understand that there's different nations and stuff like that.
Depends on the
Um,
person and their connection to assimilation and the abuse of this country and how it's been weaponized against them. That's what it
hmm
depends on. And we are Native American peoples, not Native American people. There were 2,500 plus nations of peoples when Columbus's silly ass got lost at sea. Now they recognize roughly 600 nations of peoples. So they eradicated almost 2,000 nations of peoples. And so recognizing that we're not one people, that we're nations of peoples, is like a start. But also stopping trying, don't monolith us. We're not all good or all bad. Multiple things can be true at the same time. So that whole
hmm
bullshit of, well, you were fighting each other here before we came along. Oh, get fucking wrecked. You fought with your fucking little siblings too. I don't want to hear that silly shit.
the Habsburgs were probably
We weren't
fighting up in fucking
genociding
Europe.
each other, Boo Bear. Like, so like those kind eradicating those kind of mindsets and just like eradicating like the erasure mindset, the continued erasure
Yeah.
mindset, like they're conquered people. You don't make treaties with people, you conquer boo boo.
So it makes sense, and I also read this in chat as well. 100,000 cities just on the Mississippi alone. That is a crazy, crazy
Yeah.
number to think about. But it makes sense because the continent of North America is fucking massive. So it would make sense that there were so many groups of people
It's
here
estimated
already.
between 3 and 19 million people were here when the pilgrims came. When
That's
they quit genociding
fucked.
us actively, there were 273,000 left.
Less than a million, by the way. So it
Yes,
went from millions to less than
under.
half a million.
And 273,000 across 600 nations of peoples.
Yeah.
They literally erased thousands of nations, hundreds of nations, rather.
So when people, well, I always thought that when people say Native American, it meant to encompass a lot of the nations. Like it meant, oh,
It's to
the groups of
erase
people who were
us.
here
If
before
you
us.
encompass us and lump us all in and nobody ever recognizes that we're different and we have different cultures and different languages and stuff, then you erase us. You erase the fact that there were 2,500 nations of peoples and you boil us down to one nation of people that it's okay to encroach upon.
Didn't all of the nations suffer the same kind of colonization and expansion from the the
Different
pilgrims?
tactics from different peoples, but largely different tactics depending on where you were on the continent and who wanted your land. So like out west here, um, oftentimes they would take the scalps of natives and they had scalp bounties. But here in history, you were told that native peoples took the scalps of white peoples, and that's not the truth.
No, it's the other way around.
In fact, the R skin slur has nothing to do with a copper complexion. It has to do with how the blood looked running down the skins of people they stole the scalps of. So like it's a lot of they used a lot of different tactics to genocide different nations. I mean, with my nation alone, the way that our stuff was set up um pre encroachment, like the very center of our towns would have been the most protected people. So grandmas, grandpas, babies, pregnant people, stuff like that. And then it would be uh defensive people outwards of that, and so they would come and pick fights and get the defenders away from the inner core and come in and rape and murder babies and grandmas and grandpas, and sometimes they would make the people watch the defenders that they would capture. They would make them watch. That's how they got us to walk the trail of tears. So it's just different tactics depending on where in the world you were and who wanted your land. So like the plains people, the buffalo were stolen from them, and like they would murder and slaughter thousands of buffalo and just pile them up and shoot anyone that came for any of the meat or furs. So yeah, it depended on where you were and who wanted your shit.
So how do you talk about the collective suffering of indigenous people? Do you just say indigenous peoples? How do
Yeah,
you
you just
describe
put an
that?
S on the end of peoples.
Okay.
Make sure that you recognize its peoples. That's one of the key ways. When we change certain verbiage in our minds, we change how we view it. We're able to change the lenses of how we see things. It's one of
I
the
see.
reasons why one of the great laws is that you call a thing, because you can't if you paint over it or you hide things, you're never going to solve the whole problem because something's hidden there that you blocked something from view. Um, So we call a thing and we expose all aspects of it so that we can solve the core of the problem.
Yeah, yeah. Like when it comes to like racism, genocide, systemic issues, that makes sense. I don't think about it. I just think about like the of bringing it up in like casual conversation. Like not necessarily because I think political correctness is like the end all be all, but I do want to use the most precise language possible to convey the most accurate message. So when I'm talking about groups of people that suffered, I should say indigenous peoples with an S at the end.
Yeah, it changes how people are envisioning. They stop envisioning us all the same and they start looking for the differences between us, and that gives us visibility, and that helps us heal some of those generational wounds.
Yeah.
The
I think a lot of
invisibility
people,
wound is the thing that damages us the most, I think.
uh, I think a lot of people probably, at least subconsciously, do it not with the, like, obviously the intent of a race. Sure, there's plenty of people who do, but I think a lot of people try to boil things down for convenience, even at the harm or behest of others. I do think that
Accidental erasure is still erasure, and
yeah,
erasure
yeah.
is genocide.
I'm thinking as well that there are other groups or communities of people who have taken quite, and I don't really know how comparable this even would be, so I hope this isn't disrespectful to say, but I know that there are many groups of people in the world who have been considered black people,
Mhm.
but you take them from Africa, you take them from Jamaica. There's plenty of different sections in Africa. You have South Africa and North Africa.
Mhm.
You have different tribes and communities. But now, when they were all taken for slavery, taken to America, and then everything horrible happened and they started to integrate all over the country, uh, a lot of them don't really call themselves, oh, I'm African American or I'm Jamaican American. They call themselves black
Mhm.
people because I think they were taken from their original homeland and they're not really connected to their culture anymore.
Yeah, a
So is
lot
that
of
what
was
would
stolen.
happen?
There
Is
is
that
a
what would happen?
diaspora, and I think that they've set a beautiful example in how to embrace a diaspora in a way, and also we don't do the trauma Olympics thing. Everything that was done is
Yeah,
heinous, but the things that they did to the people they took from that continent, the things that they did on those ships to those people to break them are unimaginably heinous. You can't imagine it. And so that is that was the intent, was to create people that don't know their history and don't have a connection to that. That was the intent. So I think that, yeah, in a way, and I think that because it's a diaspora, because the people, because let's be really real. Humanity, like the Homo sapien sapien, the first Homo sapien sapien came from Africa, and so we all kind of stem from there. And so there's a diaspora of black people just because humanity began there. And so, like,
yeah,
of course, like when humanity spread out, that was that was like how it worked. Some black people stayed black, and some other people like lost their pigmentation over the hundreds of thousands of years of our separations and things. Um, so I think
yeah.
that the point of putting people on the boats was to make that disconnection, and I don't know that it's necessarily just that makes there be a generic black claim. I think that humanity began in Africa, and like people spread all over the fucking world, and so like they're just like there's a generic white, of course there's a generic black, because
Yeah, yeah. But I think
we've got people spread all over the world. But
yeah,
I
that's
think that
true.
and I think I don't know. I think that white supremacy and our binary thinking because of white supremacy is what makes us erase the brown in the middle. I don't know. It's an interesting psychological phenomenon for sure, but I think it's the binary that cause the mental binary of this society that causes us to do that more than anything.
I do think that despite everything that's happened, and yeah, I agree that there's a lot of people who would practice erasure in one way or another by eliminating any groups of people who exist in the gradient between white and black. But what I was trying to explain though was that there are plenty of people in like America specifically right now who call themselves black
Mhm.
because the Black American experience is a very like specific thing for these people, and they don't mind identifying themselves or or being called black because that's kind of all that they know, and they have like their own like with Black Lives Matter. It's like it's a part of the whole diaspora. You know, it's a support for the whole diaspora. Diaspora.
I think that's probably six of one, half a dozen of the other, whichever feels more comfortable in your mouth. I don't have much respect for the English language, so
Yeah,
I am not the one to like police your
it's a broken
pronunciation of
language
English.
anyway. Words are made up.
Uh,
Words are made up.
no, I don't disagree, but I think that people like there is a very specific history here in America, and I think that that disconnection, because of how it was a disconnection, was deliberate, and I think that that could be part of it, but I also think that it's also the fact that humans just split across the earth all over the place, and that's why you can't just okay. So like I don't know how to say this because now that we're using like indigenous peoples instead of Native American as much, like you see it clearer to me. But like
Hmm.
when you're talking about Native American peoples, you're talking about this continent of peoples, and the same as if you're talking about indigenous peoples of Africa, you wouldn't say like black people of Africa, you would say indigenous peoples of Africa because of
Yeah.
the unique history of the people that were brought here and enslaved, and because of their unique history, I do think that they have their own connection to that, and that is probably, like you said, a key point to why it's just that claim. um I just think it's also, I don't know, they're, I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say.
I think it might be like like a reclaiming thing as well,
Yeah,
part of
that's,
it. Like,
I think that's what I'm trying to say, is to like claim their own their own claim to here and to what exists now and to what was built here. A very valid and important claim because it was largely built on the lives of their people. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Because I think that that the way that they associate is part of like their claim to this. I think that they have part of a claim to this continent as well, and to like this society and this culture and this country. And I think that that is a way of like distinctifying their claim, the same way that like my people have a claim to the area around Cahokia, you know, like so my people would want to lay claim to the area like kind of south and east on the Mississippi River. So I think it's, for me it's kind of that same thing as well. Is it connects them to their claim to this continent and how they were brought here. I think I
hmm.
muddied how I said that, but did that make sense?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I got as much as I could. Thank you for answering my questions and educating. I know like we just went to a completely different topic than like
That's
the whole
okay.
men thing, but I've stolen about 45 minutes of your time, it looks like, and I hijacked stream for a while. So I hope you have a good rest of your stream.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna play some video games and lurk and chat.
Go have fun, and I appreciate you calling in, and thanks for having a good conversation. I appreciate it.
It was fun. It was fun. It was good to talk.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Woohoo! Look, I love those ones. Those ones are good. I like that. That like gets me like I could do this. I could do this. Yes, land back. Mostly in our mindsets, just so that we start recognizing that there are other people here that have ideas and that were maybe here before that know know a little bit on how to steward this and should probably be invited into the conversation and how we save us. Yeah, you can. You can do this. We can do this. We all can. It's just a matter of like having the conversations and being willing to like have that uncomfortable moment of I don't know what this person is going to say and get through it. Oh, yay. Thank you for putting us in your pocket. I hope that you are being safe and that enjoying yourself while you work on that house project. I appreciate the conversation. I hope I didn't overstep too many times. But see, I don't yell at anyone. Okay, I did bite a little bit last week, but the ones I bit at, they deserved it. They deserved it. They were being a lot. Did you figure out how to get your beam? No, you had a big beam to accomplish. If anyone would like to call in and have a discussion, 720-927-6768, extension 800. Okay, that's fair. I will work on that. That's fair. I'm autistic, and so sometimes I don't know. I'm autistic and I am indigenous and we are invisibilized people, and so sometimes, yeah, I do that. That's fair. I will note that. I was diagnosed as a kid and then my mom largely hid it, and then when I was having my psych eval as an adult, the neuropsych was like, "Yeah, no, you were already diagnosed." I'm like, "What?" And he was able to find the old paperwork, but yes, ADHD. And it's okay. I'm perfectly okay with being autistic. My mother was obviously not okay with my being autistic. However, it didn't stop me from being autistic. It just stopped her from having to recognize that I was autistic or tell people that I was autistic. You haven't figured out the beam yet? Well, many luck to you. You've got this. You've got this. Oh, you're probably autistic and ADHD, or ODD is a cop out diagnosis. That's some bullshit. Also, I have ODD. But I will legit tell you, I am oppositionally defiant. Still to this day. But it's not like a disorder. It's just if you don't make any sense and I have no reason to obey you, and this is my one life, you don't get to control it, so suck it. Yeah, I'm a little ODD. But ODD is a cop out diagnosis. I don't actually believe that ODD is real. I really don't believe it's real. And it's often given to mask people, AMAB people, as a cop out diagnosis um, for like ADHD and things, because they don't want to actually take the time to give AMAB people like their full humanity and allow them to grow. They'd rather tell you it's your fault, now suck it up. And so that's why they do that. ODD is just a way of blaming you for the time and patience they refuse to take with you. Yeah, no, no, it's actually a misogynist diagnosis against AMAB people, ODD is. Yeah, that's cop out diagnosis. It's bullshit diagnosis. I will argue with a psychologist on that one. I don't believe that ODD is a valid diagnosis. It's not. It's actually a misogynist diagnosis that the patriarchy uses against AMAB people to make it your fault that you're not, that you're a whole person and that you have emotions that you cannot just flip a switch on. Yeah, that's what it is. It's because ODD is just very, very emotionally expressive young people that don't logic the why can't I be a whole person thing well. And this society says, suck it up! And if you don't just suck it up, well, you're labeled ODD. That is how I have seen it work, and that is my theory of it. And I also used to teach preschool phys ed. I've seen lots of little AMAB and AFAB children in various degrees, and I've seen it used, and it's usually just very expressive little boys. Big emotions and just need extra time and patience to manage through them. And people won't take the time and patience, and so what do you do when the pressure in the bottle gets too much? You explode. And so they call it ODD. Yep, that's all it is. That's all it is them not wanting to give you to meet your needs. It's that's all. It's really shitty. It's really, really shitty. And they should have just given you the time and allowed you to be a person and sat with you and said, hey, those feelings are big. That looks like a lot. And just helped you deal with it, and you would have been fine. If they had just validated you and told you your feelings are real and just let you get through the feelings and told you that was valid, they wouldn't have, they would have been, you would have been fine, and they wouldn't have had an issue. But they didn't want to take that time. They wanted you to obey right now, because they treat us all like dogs, by the way, just in different ways. But they wanted you to obey right now, and because you won't obey right now, they're going to label you as the problem and blame you for it. And then that way, they have an excuse to mistreat you for longer and more, because it's your fault. Your brain's just messed up. It's also the damage and the harm of blaming people for their mental health issues and stuff. Most of them are either caused by society or some way that this society has made up to control you. Like PTSD, I have CPTSD. It was caused by my parents and this shitty society. I would argue that every freaking former fighter in the military that has PTSD, product of this shitty society, rich patriarchal men wanting control of some sort of resource that they didn't have control of, so they decided to squander somebody else's mind, body, and like being in order to get their needs met. Well, I hope it helps. Hey, like I always say, if something I say works and helps and you can use it, grab it, use it, keep it. If it doesn't, chuck it in the fuck it bucket. I am not a therapist or a professional in any way. I just have a lot of life experience. I'm willing to share with you my perspective, what I see, and what I've gone through. And if something works and you can use it, good. Grab it, hold it, use it. Let's make society better. If not, if you find it to be rubbish, then check it in the fuck it bucket. Don't carry extra shit you don't need to. I wonder if my partner can hear me. If you can hear me, I need more coffee. I'm like about to text, but then I will cause a ruckus. It's fine. No, it's fine. I am a ruckus. I am the problem. Walk in the room like, who's gonna solve it? Oh, wrong one. Oh wait, no, that one could work. Mwahaha. See? Can I get coffee help, please? Here we go. I have requested assistance on the front of coffee because I need some. And even my DMCA music is coming up like flagged, and so I don't know what to do for music in my break spaces. So I'm working on that, y'all, because I had some DMCA free music, but apparently it's coming up as flagging, and so I don't know what to do in the interim. I'm going to have to find some option for us, but as always, when we're done here with the call-in show in 50 minutes, by the way, if you want to call, you have to call in the next 50 minutes, 720-927-6768, extension 800. After this, we're gonna go take a couple of musical moments. We'll kick the red team out. We'll go take a few musical moments, take a breather, have some fun together, and then we'll get out of here. Also, my schedule is Thursday through Sunday here on stream. I do lives every day from Thursday to Sunday. Thursdays, we do a call-in show from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and then I spend a little extra time with my beloved Purple team afterwards because I like them the best and they have the most home training. And then Fridays, we do an episode. I have still not written my outline. I have been frazzled since the whole wildfire and everything. So tomorrow could be a winging it thing. We'll see what happens. We'll see what I get done tonight. But I usually do an episode on Fridays. We will do something tomorrow. I am not sure that it will be the episode I had planned because life has been lifing, y'all, with the wildfire and stuff. Saturdays, we do Solidarity Saturday. It's all music and games. We come together, we play Jackbox games, we play marbles, and chat brings me links to music, and we just jam out. We have the best music playlists on all the socials. I will die on that hill. I will so die on that hill. We have the best music list links on all the socials. So that's what we do on Saturday, music and games. And then Sunday, we have nerdery. So we learn about something. It depends. Like last week, I had a birthday, and so we learned about 1977 and the weird shit that Gen X lived through. And I don't remember what this Sunday is supposed to be, so don't ask yet because I don't remember. And then we do another call-in show from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Sundays. And then we redo the whole thing the following week. So that is my schedule. I mentioned during the last call that I am an artist. I don't know if y'all know this, but I have merch. I have a store, and I have merch. And I make the art on the merch. This is my art. I did it. I made it. It's mine. But you can wear some if you want, or you can put some up in your house, or you can get stickers of some and put it all over the place. I am about to make the Schrodinger's dick merch, and it is truly hilarious. It is truly hilarious. There will be two options for it, a PG option and a not PG option. I have very cursed things planned for the Schrodinger's pants parts merch. Beware of the questions you ask me. It could become fodder for art or content, or both. Also, I did upload some videos. I have been clipping out the calls that I had last week. I have not got all of them clipped. I will get better at the timing. I had a lot going on with the wildfire this week, though. I have gotten some put up, and I have clipped some shorts in there. So if you come across my shorts or any of those videos, please watch them, like, subscribe, make a comment. I do still read all of the comments, and I respond to every comment as well. So if you don't mind liking, subscribing, and commenting, I would appreciate it. It does help the algorithm go burr. And you know, I want the algorithm to go burr on the red side. Red team. You need your algorithm to go brrr. Rev it up over there. Watch all of the things. But that was fun. I am still randomly getting gender euphoria every time I think of Schrodinger's dick. I get a little giddy. I'm not gonna lie. Arson. I haven't told you thank you yet this stream, and I think it's going to be a thing for a minute, Arson. I know that you were a troll and that your intent was to try to tear me down and make me feel bad, but you failed at that. And so I'm going to need you to be okay with your failure and just take my gratitude for the gender euphoria, because I don't think that you intended to give me gender euphoria and gas me up as much as you did, but I am still feeling gassed up from that encounter, and I just want to thank you. Because it is not very often that you get gender euphoria that can last as long as this has. It is good. It's the good. If they could just give me this as like a pill, I'd take that shit 3 times a day. Okay, just saying. Thank you, Arson. Thank you for Schrodinger's stick. I didn't know that it could be so good, and it is so good. So just wanted to say thanks. Probably gonna be thanking you a lot every time we have your red team side up, Arson. It's probably gonna be a thing for a minute. I'd apologize, but I'm not sorry, so I'm just gonna suggest that you get happy in the same pants you got mad in, because you made me happy in the pants you thought you could make me mad in. And I am getting giddiness over that, so thanks, Arson. Alright, I do have things just in case we ran into dead zones. Let's make it some. Let's make it a thing. And a stuff. I have to finish my candy stream. I was watching a video that is absolutely so good, y'all. It is a 6-hour video, so I'm gonna give you the link anyway, because it's so good. The Leftist Cooks did a Why Don't Fascists Eat Vegetables. It is so good. So good. And y'all should all go watch it. So I'm gonna give you the link to it. I'm not gonna show it. I'm just giving you the link to it because you should go watch it because it's really good. I'm only like 3 hours into it, and it is so good. I plan to finish it, but I just, when I was looking for our stuff for today, I found it and I was like, oh, I can't wait to have the time to watch more of that. Okay. Here's the thing. We may or may not, I don't know how much of this we'll get through, but this is a really interesting, call it, bit of content, phenomenon, topic. Topic. It's a really interesting topic. There is a trick that keeps your brain obedient. And so let me adjust our screen here so that I can show you the video over here on this side. I'm trying a different way of setting up our content video today. Woohoo! Adjustments. Look at that. Magic. Right. Here we go. This is the psychological trick that keeps you obedient. Now, I believe that a lot of these psychological tricks that are used so that the patriarchs, the billionaire class, that's who the patriarchs are. Just because you have a penis, you're not a patriarch. That's a lie they tell you so that you will continue to oppress other people, but that doesn't make you a patriarch, okay? That's just the lie they tell you. The patriarchs are those billionaires, you know, those really, really rich guys that want to control everything. Anyway, they use these psychological tricks to keep you obedient and to keep you grabbing and waving each other's man cards around so that they can control you and wiggle your puppet strings easier. But don't believe me. Listen to the guy tell you. He's a guy. I don't presume to know, but he might even have the pants parts you prefer. He might. I don't know. I didn't ask. I'm not rude like some of you. Okay, I actually like Downton Abbey, and I find it comforting too. And I thought it was just because I was a nerd, but that makes me feel a little better. Thanks, Barry. Oh, biscuits. By the way, I keep forgetting. I have to share this link before I do any of the things. Holy gravies. Oh my goodness, Gravy Pepper. You have to share the link. You've got to share what we're looking at. Barry needs you to be like responsible here, Pepper. Be responsible. Share Barry's voice. You have to tell them where to find Barry. Okay, this is where you find Barry. Links in all the chats. 1, 2, 3. Okay, links in all the chats. This is where you find Barry. This is Barry's Economics. Let's go. I know, right? It's kind of cursed. It's kind of cursed. It's kind of cursed. I don't know if I want them to keep it or if I'm just enraptured by the train wreck that they are. Because okay, so little thing about Pepper. I like some really weird um reality TV just because of the train wreck effect. You know, there's this phenomenon. You see a crash happening and you just glued to it and you just watch. And I I feel like for me, Downton Abbey might be a little bit of that because I don't necessarily root for them to be able to keep the house. I'm just saying. I see what you mean though. I mean, we do tend to like root for the people of a show or whatever, and we do have a tendency to assign morals and ethics that we want people to have to them rather than accept the ones they have. So I get it, and I just thought that was an interesting phenomenon. Let's go. Okay. It's really insidious though if you're like rooting for this family because okay, this is the father figure. This is the patriarch of the family that owns Downton Abbey, right? And he is the British dude. He is the quintessential gentleman type. Now, his wife is an American woman. Listen to me telling y'all all about the dynamics of Downton Abbey. Anyway, here we are. Nobody's calling in. If you want to shut me up, you can call in 720-927-6768 extension 800 and I will shut up about the dynamics of Downton Abbey. But anyway, this man gets the dowry, like the all of his wife's money to save Downton Abbey. Okay, so he has already taken one fortune from a woman to save Downton Abbey, by the way. Squanders all of her fortune to save Downton Abbey, and then uh his daughter tries to get this guy's wife's mom to give her fortune to save Downton Abbey because it's this enormous estate that can't sustain itself and they have to pay out more to sustain it. And so it's this cycle. It's the cycle of this family trying to take fortunes from women with fortunes in order to sustain this house. So it is wild. Wild dynamics all the way around. Why do I like this show? Why do I like this show? Oh my goodness, Grady. No way, dog. And it's oh no, it's muted. Boo. Boo. Bad pepper. Bad pepper, no cookies. Oh, oh my gravy babies. See, now I have to rewind it because y'all didn't hear any of Barry's delightful commentary and like hello. I it's delightful commentary. And hey, 720-927-6768 extension 800 if you would like me to not talk about Downton Abbey and the psychological trick that keeps you obedient. Let's go.
This is Highclere Castle, the real down.
If you're not careful, I will get very into this video and demand that we watch its entirety and go overtime on the red team just so that we can discuss the psychological trick that makes that makes and keeps you obedient. And gentlemen, you know that you're the most submissive and breedable ones, right? I didn't say it to be mean. Settle down. Shh, shh, calm down. It's okay. Shh, shh. Calm down. No. Settle down. Take a breath. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's because of the training. It's because they trained you to be. They trained you to be obedient. That's all I'm saying. It's okay. No. Breathe. Shh.
Downton Abbey. And I'm here today.
I am a shit ass. If you would like, you can cancel me in chat. Exclamation, cancel Pepper.
Because I think the show filmed here is one of the most politically significant cultural objects in the modern world. I love Downton Abbey. I find it genuinely comforting. And I'm a working class comedian who spends most of his time thinking about inequality in power and why the system is rigged. And so the fact that I find it comforting should bother me way more than it does. I've watched 6 series of a show about whether a very rich family gets to keep their massive house.
Not just 6 seasons of a show about them getting to keep their massive estate and grounds. 6 seasons of them trying to take the fortunes of women to save this house.
And I want them to keep it. Something has gone wrong. Seriously wrong. And not just in my head. And I'm here to find out what exactly that is.
I did not expect... Okay, honestly, I did expect this to be this good, and I would have watched it on my own anyway. I did not expect to be getting as much joy as I am out of sharing it with y'all, though. So thank you for being here with me for this Barry's Economics episode.
Downton Abbey sells a feeling,
Barry's
doesn't it? Like a feeling of
y'all.
safety and
You
calm,
really should
that
click that
the
link I put in
powerful were responsible stewards and are responsible stewards of our country, and that if everyone knows their place and does their bit, everything works great. And there's meaning in it. Sorry, just pausing the video to mention one thing. When I made this video, I didn't know I wasn't going to be able to use actual clips from the show Downton Abbey. So as a workaround, I'm going to use stills from the show with me doing impressions of the characters. Yeah, you heard me. Listen, I'm a very good voice actor, as you're about to find out. But if you want to see the full video as it's meant to be with the actual clips from the show, you can do that on my Patreon here. But listen,
I might
you're
do
gonna
it
love
on
the
your
video just as it
Patreon
is,
just for
because
giddiness
actually once you've heard
later,
me
but
do the
this is
characters,
gonna be
you're not going to want to
fantastic.
go back
I'd
to the
rather
original.
see you
But
do it,
without any
Barry.
further ado, here is me as Lord Grantham.
I've given my life to Downton. I was born here and I hope to die here. I claim no career beyond the nurture of this house and this estate. It is my
Oh, Barry, you are so good. You do the Barry. I love this. Good job. This is fantastic.
third parent and my 4th child.
But the real history of that building is the exact opposite of warm and cosy. Because at the turn of the 20th century, a quarter of the British population lived in poverty. That's poverty, not can't afford stuff. Life expectancy was around 50, and the cause, well, wasn't laziness, re-smog. It was low wages and a system built to keep wages low. For example, women working in houses like Downton Abbey one could be dismissed instantly, denied a reference, and left with nothing. And historical documents show that female
And were in the show. And were.
servants dismissed from service accounted for 50% of prostitutes in Edwardian England. That's a structural outcome built directly onto the conditions of service in houses like this one.
And they started shaming the sex workers, not the systems that put them on the street, not the men that weaponized their being on the street and bought their bodies instead of feeding them for no other reward other than knowing somebody ate. They shamed those women, they shamed those people for choosing sex work as if they had a choice. Of course you can. You can always call it nutty.
One of the things I do find quite funny about Downton Abbey is in a very
Oh, Evie, I'm sorry you don't feel well. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I hope you feel better, honey. Thank you so much for being here. But do your self-care and make sure you feel well. Because... Hello, thank you for calling the stream.
Hello.
How you
Nice
doing?
to finally speak with you.
Yes, usually if this is Maddie, it's usually just on the Discord.
Yeah, I know, right? Um, so if anybody doesn't know, I am Matt. I'm in chat a lot. And I have been noticing a lot of discourse lately around a viral video relating to consent, where a man sent a very straightforward, let's say, message to a woman, asking, letting her know that Um, he was really only interested in having sex and basically in a blunt and I wouldn't say the most healthy way, but definitely in a straightforward way. Made that very clear, and she did agree to even have him over after that. And everybody is on the internet trying to say, did this person give consent or did this person not give consent? And I think everybody's missing the entire point.
What do you
Um,
think the point is?
So the point is, he gave consent to go over, or she gave consent to go over. Sorry, um, he had consent to go over her house. He didn't have consent to have sex yet. Consent is an ongoing process.
I agree. I agree. It is. It's a continuous
Yeah. So
process and it can be revoked at any time. I agree with that. I
yeah,
think that that assessment is perfect because it doesn't assume that consent is ongoing. So I think you have the perfect assessment. I think you hit the nail exactly right.
yeah. So I just think kind of the framing of the question itself is just reinforcing misogyny. I mean, maybe it's moving the needle a little bit so people understand consent, right? But and have that conversation and grow. But at the end of the day, we're still reinforcing some slightly problematic points. So, yeah, just kind of wanted to put
Right.
my thoughts out on the internet.
I appreciate that because a lot of times people assume because consent was given to have a social encounter that that means that an AFAB person or a woman or any femme person really it's taken to
Yeah,
assume that consent is given for anything that happens in that engagement whether the consent was revoked or not. So I think that that's a good assessment to and a good note. I haven't seen this phenomenon yet, and thank you for bringing it to my attention. I'll look at it, and also, no, I think you nailed it.
yeah. And I think this like goes back to like some processing I've done with kind of my conflict resolving consent issues in the past. And, you know, how I have ended up where I landed up on my processing was even the times that I may have been coercive, I'm not going to say came off as because you can't come off as coercive without being it, right? Even when I've been coercive, um, the intent was not because I wanted to coerce them into a thing. It was a result of my actions, right? And so at the same time, I may be, two things can be true at the same time, as you always say. Dialectics is important to practice. And at the same time, with the intent of getting consent, accidentally violated it. At the same time, if they said yes to that and they fawned and they didn't push back, that would be unknowingly violating my consent because I do not want to have a relationship or any relations at all with somebody who does not want to be in a relationship with me and does not want to give me enthusiastic consent,
Yeah, I
right?
think
So if
that's the
somebody's lying to me about
insidiousness of it.
consent,
No, I agree.
yeah,
I
so
agree. I think that's the insidiousness of it. Yeah, I agree with you. I do.
yeah,
I
so
think that in that occasion, and I have to admit that I have fawned um multiple times because
it's a protection mechanism.
I didn't feel safe to say no because in my experience even saying no they would do it anyway. So like but in my opinion for the people that weren't trying to be coercive or whatever, we were both violated by my fawning.
Yeah,
So like I don't think that it's as cut and dry as we would like it to be. And we have to be honest about the fact that so many, 95.1%, so many are engaging in this phenomenon that we can't
Yeah.
not be honest about it, and we have to just be really blatant about it. And I think that that is one of the more insidious aspects, is that a when when women or people in general start being coded to accept abuse and fawn over the abuse, they don't realize that both people are being violated if the other person is good faith. Now, if one party is bad faith, then it's always just, it's always straightforward sexual assault. But it's not.
Yeah.
But because of the way that the rape culture pyramid works and the abuse culture pyramid works, because we can't always tell who is good faith or whatever, and you may fawn just because you're coded and trained to fawn and be
Yeah.
unfair to a person that's not bad faith. So I see that.
Yeah, totally. And like anything else, spectrum too. Like one person doing one thing one way does not make somebody else's less valid or significant, right? So multiple things can exist at the same time, and we just need to keep space for recognizing that in a healthy way.
Yeah. I have a question though.
So,
Because
yeah.
on this topic, when we get to this topic, I think that there's an aspect of it that we're only now starting to unpack that we don't always address, or like, because it's a hard part, and I know that you're awesome, so I know that I can
Yeah.
ask this. But in the language that we use around sex, we don't use mutual language. So we don't use often that they had sex together or whatever. He fucked her, he banged her, he hit
Right.
that, he smashed. Do you think that that language kind of goes into that misunderstanding of consent, and that
Yeah, 100%.
that cycle?
And I think that's part of the grooming culture that we have. How language is structured is designed to kind of how to get us as a whole to act in one big collective group, right? So, and grooming is very prevalent in American culture. Like, it is foundational
It
to
is.
our culture, I
It
believe.
is. I agree with that.
So yeah, I think it's by design that it's like that. And so we could fight back just by changing it with different language.
Awesome.
But
I was kind of
yeah.
wanting a man's perspective on that, because I've been thinking about it a lot, and I know that I can't ask a bad faith man, because we won't ever get to the actual answer to that. But I wanted to know, like, from somebody with a decent track record of like actually thinking things through. So thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
We won you at a
Any
powwow. Interesting.
other questions that you may want to ask a good faith non-toxic man while you still got me?
That was the biggest one right now. I
Okay.
usually
You
ask
know where I
y'all
live.
as I have them.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky because y'all like show up and answer them for me, so I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Maddie. I appreciate you for calling
Yeah,
in.
totally.
You're
Yeah, anytime. We'll
awesome.
talk to you soon.
All right, thank you. Yay! Look at me getting all the good calls today. That's awesome. I like good calls. What nation are you from? I. All right. We can go back to our whatchamacallit, the extra content. Oh goodness gravy. Did I lose? Okay, hang on. For some reason, the screen is not showing up again. What the biscuits? I should have just left it. I should have left it on there. Oh my gravy, I'm being raided. Oh my goodness, gravy. Hello, Vitingale. Thank you for the raid. How are y'all? We are doing our call-in show, our Thursday call-in show. We've had 20 more minutes. We've had 2 really awesome calls. We've had all awesome calls, actually. Welcome in. It's so good to see you all. I hope you're having a good day. Hey, chat. Chat, you look good. Hey, ladies. Girl, you look good. Inbies. Inby, you look good. Hey, guys. Girl, you look good. How are you doing? Thank you for coming in. Welcome, Dragon Lee. How are you doing, love? Yeah, you do, Jersey Texan. Yeah, you do. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much for coming in. I hope you had a good stream, Vitingale. Y'all, if you are not following Vitingale, I don't know what is wrong with you. Don't you ever need just to be gassed up? Go get your gas up. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We ain't scared of your guns. We love too much to be scared of that shit. Good. I'm glad you're doing well. I'm so lucky. I have such a good community, y'all. What an amazing community. This is why Purple Team is the best. Y'all should try to be like Purple Team. That's who comes up on the whole screen and like covers me. That's who you should be like. Endeavor to be purple. All right, I was working on getting this thing. We're looking at the psychology of obedience, and I had a piece of content. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Oh my gravy. Okay, I know what I did wrong. I know what I was doing wrong. I have a piece of content. Haha, I will share this content. And for all of these reasons, I've decided to stop you and burn your village to the ground. All right. So let me give you this link once more. This is the thing I am referring to. This is Barry's Economics. If you don't know Barry's Economics, well, welcome. You're going to enjoy this. I think Barry's Economics is delightful, and you should be liking and subscribing and, you know, showing affection. But Barry's Economics says that he knows the psychological trick that keeps you obedient. And I too am wondering, what is this trick? Let's find out together. Also, we were discussing Downton Abbey because apparently that is the reference by which Barry is educating us, and I am here for it. I am all the way here for it.
Practical sense, it's a finishing school.
Trauma bond? I mean, I don't know which thing we're referring to.
For prostitutes. I mean, there is also an argument for saying, within that perspective, that Lord Grantham...
Oh, but what he was just saying for raiders that are new, because that comes on, you're like, prostitutes, what are we talking about? He's talking about the phenomenon, how this era of time where these big houses were owned by gentlemen and kept by gentlemen had some of the worst poverty numbers imaginable, and how oftentimes these houses would fire these young women and these young women would turn to prostitution, and then the entire system would punish the women that turned to prostitution for needing to eat. So that is where we are in the conversation. You haven't missed much. Let's have a talk about it. Evie, thank you so much for the give subbies to Dragon Lee and Jersey Texan. You are wonderful. Thank you so much.
Is a 20th century Epstein. But
well, yes, by gentlemen we mean creeps, and I'm so glad that he said that. Like right as I was getting ready to pause, Epstein. They were the Epsteins. They were the billionaire class.
I didn't say that, especially if you're a fan. Oh, I'm not sure that's going to go in.
It should
Because
stay
the
in. It
aristocracy
should definitely
didn't
stay
just
in.
benefit from the system. They actually, at the time, used their unelected political power to defend it at every turn. So, how
Pay attention, because these dynamics are being used now as well. And remember, when you start to be able to see and recognize abuse dynamics, you are less likely to fall for them. You are less likely to take them lying down. You are less likely to be crushed by them. So let's learn how these dynamics work so that you can be inoculated against them. They will have no power over you. Thank you for the streak, Tails. Oh my gravy.
does a show set entirely within that world, and not just depicting that world, but adoring it? How does that show become one of the most watched?
Thank you so much, Evie. How does it become one of the most watched television shows? Romanticization of the class divide.
Television dramas in history, loved by millions of people whose own great-grandparents were on the sharp end of that poverty. Well, this video is about why we defend the cage we're put in.
You mustn't take it personally.
Well, I do take it personally, Miss Hughes. I can't watch our family threatened with the loss of every...
How is he so good at all the voices? Good job, Barry. Barry, I am loving this. Y'all, I like Barry's economics anyway, the videos. But this, I am loving him doing all the voices. It is everything to me. I'm very easily entertained, if you couldn't tell.
thing that they hold dear.
They're not our family.
Well, they're the only family that I've got.
In the 1990s, a social psychologist at New York University
I want to watch a whole season with Barry doing all the voices. Barry's economics.
called John Jost began asking the question, quite simply, why do people at the bottom of hierarchies defend them?
Why do poor people often oppose the redistribution of wealth? Why do we tolerate political and economic corruption? And where's the outrage, even after a series of worldwide financial crises? Over the last 30 years, the rich have gotten much richer, and the middle and working classes have either stayed the same or gotten worse. Over a 30-year period, the inflation-adjusted hourly wage in the U.S. declined by more than 7%, and yet the share of total income going to the top 1% nearly tripled. Most theories in social science, including theories of relative deprivation, moral outrage, self-interest, motivation, identity politics, collective action, and revolution, all propose that people should object, perhaps even violently, to stark forms of inequality.
Now, I think that everyone should note this book, Why Men Rebel, and you should probably read it, especially if any of this resonates for you. As always, what I say is my perspective on things, and if it works for you and you like it, grab it, take it, put it in the toolbox. If it doesn't, chuck it in the bucket. But also, like, I think that this is such a good conversation, and yeah, anyway, I don't know what I was going to say after that. My words just went right out of my head, just gone, flew away. Let's keep going.
Mahzarin Banaji and I sought to develop a system justification perspective that would help to explain why most people, including the disadvantaged, typically accept the social system as more or less legitimate. Could system justification motivation help to explain self-defeating and group-defeating behaviors, and can it also shed light on the psychological appeal of conservative ideas, that is, ideas that are favorable to the status quo?
Through 2 decades of work,
I love that this is a topic, and I'm going to really quick see if Barry put the oh, did you put it in here? Sorry, y'all. I want this. Okay, it is. All right, I'm definitely grabbing that later. In the description, it has this video, how to find it. So if you as well want this video, it is there. Thank you, Carla, Maddie. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for the biddies.
just discovered what he called system justification theory. And what just discovered...
Oh, there is almost a hype train. Oh no, there is a hype train. Holy, there's a hype train. Oh my goodness gravy. And you know what? We're going to risk it. We're going to risk it. We're going to risk the wrath of the YouTube. We're going to risk the wrath. We're risking it. It said that this is freaking was supposed to be DMCA free, but we're gonna do this one. Hex with it. We're gonna try this one because I don't think this one comes off as DMCA. The other one does. No, I don't love this. I don't love this. I need some DMCA free music. Hang on. Let's see if we can find something a little more upbeat, a little more something. I don't know. I don't know the word I want. Here, let's try this. Because there's a hype train. I feel like it feels wrong to not give you music during hype. You have to have music for hype. Ooh, I like this one. I'm risking it because this one's good. Let's go. Thank you for the hype train. You are all wonderful. Thank you so much. Y'all, I'm gonna also give y'all this playlist because it really is quite good. And you know how artists go from being DMCA free to DMCA recognition. We give them all the love and we gas them up. And people are like, ooh, let me give them money. So, you know, go help an artist get some money. Go click that. Go help an artist get some money. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for the hype. Okay, I'm gonna stay for like a second. There's gonna be a chair. Just pretend that I'm in it. Y'all are awesome. Thank you, Scary. Thank you, Matty. Thank you, Evie. Thank you, Carla. Y'all are amazing. How did I get so lucky? Holy. Thank you, Jersey. Oh, I like this one. This one's more like upbeat. I think I'm going to keep this playlist over the other one. I love music. Let's go. Hey y'all, on Saturdays, we do this thing on the Twitch, the Kick, and the Patreon where we have music. And you can play any ones you want. You bring me links. we play the music and we play games. So come join us. Solidarity Saturdays, because you have to do self-care in order to be whole. You can help nobody if you're passed out. This is why on airplanes they tell you to put your oxygen mask on before you try to help anybody else. That is what self-care is. Self-care is putting your oxygen mask on so that you are more effective for yourself and those you love. You have a very short 4 minutes to call if anybody wants to. And then I'm just going to give you the link to the thing, and I'm probably going to watch Barry on my own. Twitch, there's only 2 minutes to get to level 3. Otherwise, just thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of the little hype train and celebrating and being fun and delightful with me. Thank you for being part of my Thursday. I appreciate it so much. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I am going to have an oral surgery at the end of the month. And so the last week of July and probably the first week of August, I am going to be taking off. So I'm going to actually take a vacation. I'm going to be gone for it'll definitely be 1 week. It could be 2 weeks. So I could be gone for just a week. Hang on, let me tell you what the actual days are real quick. Because the surgery is the 27th. So I will be off the 30th and 31st of July. I will be off the 1st and 2nd of August, and then I will potentially remain off through August 10th. So it's possible that I will leave and come back on the August 13th, just so y'all know. Because I'm gonna have an oral surgery done, and yeah, it's gonna be great. And I just have to take at least a week to heal, and possibly up to 2 weeks, she said. We'll see what happens. I'm a pretty tough person, so I will probably get bored and want to be back after the first week, but we'll see how my mouth does, because I do have to talk for hours here. So we'll see, because it is going to be on the lower jaw. I'm going to get surgery on my lower jaw, and so we'll see. We'll see. It could be 1 week or 2 weeks. But that is at the end of this month, beginning of next month. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for the hype, y'all. Y'all are amazing. Oh, it's a cool frog. Look, I love Frog Nation. I love the little froggy. I got a froggy. Note that just made me giddy. Let's go. Thank you so much for the hype. There we go. I really do prefer this playlist much more than the other one. Must say that. Okay. Yes, let's flark and go. That is kind of the mood right now, because YouTube, it's time. It's time for us to go. It's time for us to depart from the you. And it has been delightful. I have enjoyed it. We've had wonderful calls today. It has been so good. Please like, subscribe, help us boost so that we can grow even more over on the YouTube side. And also, please do that thing you do. You know that thing you do? That thing where every time you think or say a bad thing about you, you say 2 good things about you? That thing you do? By the way, the Patreon is free if anybody wants to jump over there for the get-together, the after-show get-together. I just put the link for Patreon. But please, go do that thing you do. You will accidentally treat everyone better, including yourself, if you just make the habit of doing that thing. Be good to yourself, YouTube. Be good to each other, and I will see you tomorrow. Later!